right now on 5 on Your Side at 10.
New video of a deadly hit and run outside a Metro East store. Tonight, employees and customers remembering a well-known regular.
A reinforcing shot of comfortable air is moving in at this moment, plus where Hurricane Idalia is right now and when it will cause the biggest problems in Florida.
Our top story, a sea of red inside Busch Stadium of empty seats.
You know, everyone's taking a hit. I'm a little mom and pop, so I'm taking a big hit.
Now, the Cardinals' disappointing season is putting downtown vendors and businesses in the red. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush, and Allred has the night off. It's the type of season Cardinals Nation hasn't experienced in 25 years. The Redbirds won tonight, but they've been losing games, and that's leading to others losing money. Our Brent Solomon is live outside Busch with more from frustrated local businesses. Brent.
Mike, let's face it, St. Louis is a baseball town. Tonight, the Cards won. And that's the type of momentum that area businesses like to capitalize on. But lately, they admit it hasn't been paying off. Every single game day,
Ice cold soda water Gatorade.
Cardinals fans are greeted by this enthusiastic team.
And another dog, please.
At K's Unique Dogs, this is Karen.
I'm a staple.
She owns the hot dog stand.
Because I do Chicago with fresh toppings, we have a St. Louis with cheese and bacon, and we got burgers.
Fans coming back for 2.5 decades.
I used to have a line going all the way to the parking garage, about 40 people deep.
But not anymore.
Between the weather, the heat, the storms, and then just fans aren't coming because we're not playing like we usually do.
She's not the only one taking a hit. And just days ago, the Redbird Express, which transported fans from Illinois here to Busch, announced it is stopping the shuttle, largely because of low turnout. The company sharing on Facebook, "Your understanding means the world to us, and we look forward to a stronger return." I checked around with other area businesses. Here at the Midwestern, the general manager tells me last season, with Albert returning, paired with Yachty and Wainwright, fans came out in droves. Now he says it's not the same, weekdays especially seeing a decline. And here at Patios, the bar manager confirms less foot traffic, adding, quote, "We are just hoping for Adam to get 200 win."
I'm trying to keep it out because I'm trying to be here for the fans, plus make a living, and you know, I don't want to leave because everybody relies on us.
Her message to Cardinal Nation:
don't give up, still have faith in the Cardinals, and come down here and support the small businesses.
Now, K's Unique Dogs has cut some items from their menu. They've reduced some hours, yet they're still in the red. Everyone hoping for a resurgence quick. Live downtown tonight, Brent Solomon, 5 on Your Side.
Well, tonight, Hurricane Idalia is gaining strength in the Gulf of Mexico. The Category 2 storm is just hours away from making landfall in the Big Bend region of Florida's Gulf Coast, likely as a Category 3 hurricane. The storm has already caused flooding in Fort Myers, which was devastated by Hurricane Ian last year. With torrential rains and forecasted wind gusts of up to 125 miles per hour, Idalia threatens to wash away parts of the Florida coast with a record-setting and life-threatening storm surge. Evacuation orders have been issued for coastal areas, barrier islands, and low-lying areas.
If you stay hunkered down tonight, it's going to be too nasty tomorrow morning to be able to do it. Take the appropriate precautions to protect you and your family, and once the storm passes, we will have help that will be on the way.
5,500 members of the National Guard are standing by. President Biden has already approved an emergency declaration for Florida in anticipation of the storm. And we're keeping an eye on the hurricane's track tonight, so let's check in with Weather First Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell.
Well, and just within the last couple of minutes, the Hurricane Center putting out the new advisory and updated information as the hurricane hunters have been in the storm, looking at its strength, finding that it is continuing to intensify. Winds right now 110 miles per hour, gusts up to about 125. It's 125 miles to the west of Tampa Bay, which means Tampa, St. Petersburg, while it's squally in those areas right now, the worst of this is still offshore. The problem is when it comes ashore, The Hurricane Center is now saying this will likely become a Category 4 storm as it pushes onshore towards tomorrow morning with winds likely around 130 miles per hour. That's in the Big Bend area of Florida, still maintaining its hurricane strength across much of southeastern Georgia, and then weakening to a tropical storm as it heads towards the Charleston area. Now, we are going to be talking about that hurricane warning. Again, the dangerous storm surge is more likely than not the biggest thing. That's going to be up there around that Cedar Key and up towards Horseshoe Beach. Those areas could see as much as a 15-foot storm surge, and that is catastrophic for that area, Mike.
And we'll check back in a few minutes, Scott. More fallout tonight at Jennings City Hall. Mayor Gary Johnson has filed a lawsuit on behalf of the city against 5 council members. The lawsuit asks a judge to invalidate an emergency meeting held on August 18th following the resignations of multiple city employees. It claims the city clerk had no power to carry out the meeting because her resignation took effect just hours before the meeting. At last night's council meeting, those 5 council members were supposed to have a vote of no confidence for Mayor Johnson, but they were no-shows. They accused him of abuse of power, forcing employees to resign, and violating the Sunshine Law several times. New tonight, police are investigating what they're calling an accidental death of a St. Louis County employee while on the job. The man was found dead near New Halls Ferry Road and St. Cyr Road in Jennings. Investigators believe the worker lost control of a large lawnmower, causing it to roll down a hill into a pond, trapping him underneath. Tonight, we're learning more about a deadly hit-and-run crash that happened outside of Belleville Business. New tonight, our Robert Townsend has new video of the crash and reaction from those who knew the victim.
For years, North Belt West Liquor Store has been a fixture in this Belleville neighborhood. Employees and customers have grown to know each other during that time.
Well, he was a pretty decent guy. He always came in and spoke to everybody.
But now Bernard Taylor and his co-workers are hurting after hearing what happened to one of their regular customers.
Mind his own business, pretty much. He was always by himself. We see him walking up and down the street a lot.
Police say just before 10 Monday night, they went to the 3600 block of North Belt West and found the man on the side of the road with severe injuries. They say a driver hit him and left the scene. The victim later died at a St. Louis area hospital.
Well, that's very shocking.
Bernard Taylor says just hours before, the man was at their store.
I really hate that happened to him, but it's really sad.
A business owner shared this surveillance video with police. Witnesses told detectives it shows someone in a white 4-door car hit the man. Swansea police officers spotted the suspect's vehicle here in the 1600 block of North Belt West. Belleville officers say when they arrested the driver, the person was intoxicated.
It's heartbreaking to see somebody get hit like that.
Neighbor James Pearson wishes drivers who speed down this popular street would slow down.
Pedestrians got to watch it when they cross the street. Me and my wife, on the other end, we cross it. Seems like they'll speed up on you. Now, the speed limit is 40. Sometimes they'll be doing more than 40 down the strip.
Police are still investigating the crash.
He must was coming back again when that happened to him.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Police will release the man's name after they contact his family. The suspect remains in jail. Tonight, condolences are pouring in for the family of a Marine from Belleville. Captain Eleanor LeBeau was a graduate of Althoff Catholic High School. She was one of 3 U.S. service members killed in a training exercise this weekend in Australia.
Their service means so much, and they give sometimes the ultimate sacrifice, like Captain LeBeau. We need to do everything we can to support her family and friends that are obviously dealing with her tragic loss.
During her 5 years with the Marines, LeBeau received the National Defense Service Medal, Global War on Terrorism Service Medal, and the Sea Service Deployment Ribbon. A GoFundMe has been created for LeBeau's family, as well as the families of the other 2 Marines who lost their lives. If you would like to help these families out, we have a link in the As Seen on TV section at KSDK.com. Well, big news tonight for the entertainment industry in Missouri. Just hours ago, Governor Mike Parson signed the SHOMO Act into law at the brand new Gateway Studios in Chesterfield. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski was there for the signing of what the governor hopes will bring thousands of jobs to Missouri. Laura?
Mike, the SHOMO Act is also known as the Entertainment Industry Jobs Act. The people who worked hard on this bill say it's been roughly 10 years in the making and will make a difference for entertainment in Missouri. In front of the brand new Gateway Studios campus, Governor Mike Parsons signed Senate Bill 94 into law. It will give tax credits to entertainment companies who choose to perform, make movies or shows, or even build studios here.
When the NFL draft was in our state, $164 million in one day. I mean, those are the kind of investments you're looking for to have these events. But they only come here because you're doing a successful thing in these states to do business. So, but it's all about the people supporting the industries, and I think we got a great opportunity to support this industry.
Gateway Studios CEO Trey Kerr says he wanted to be part of the solution to rebuild the entertainment industry in Missouri.
This legislation is a significant step forward in allowing Missouri to compete on an equal playing field with other states and create hundreds, if not thousands, of new high-paying jobs.
Kerr says his new production campus in Chesterfield is a big part of that, featuring 3 buildings for big-name artists to practice and design next-level concerts and a hotel.
Our main studio is Studio 80. It's 300 by 175 with an 80-foot grid. It's essentially designed to replicate an NFL football stadium. The second stadium is designed to represent an NHL arena, and the third studio is designed to represent an NBA arena.
In the new law, artists that take advantage of the tax incentive will be required to perform 2 concerts in the state, so that money goes right back into the community.
We benefit from all kinds of levels, whether it's hotels, restaurants, whether it's the investment they're making, and especially the incentive to use Missourians to be able to do that.
Gateway Studios hopes to open the new campus by the end of next spring.
Demanding accountability.
He said he thought he was going to die there.
A roundtable of Gold Star parents. The message a Wentzville father has for President Biden about the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. A teen mental health crisis. Experts blame social media. Tonight, steps to take back control of what your child consumes online.
Labor Day weekend getting a bit toasty around St. Louis. Why this stretch of hot weather will be much different than the last batch we saw.
I identify as a father, a husband, a pissed off, fed up American patriot, and now, thanks to this administration, a Gold Star dad, a title no one ever wants to have.
A St. Charles County father was in Washington today expressing his anger with the Biden administration over a lack of answers surrounding the U.S. pullout from Afghanistan. The House Foreign Affairs Committee held a roundtable of Gold Star families who are demanding accountability. Mark Schmitz is the father of Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, one of the 13 U.S. service members killed by a suicide bomber outside the Kabul airport in 2021. The fallen Marine's stepmother also testified.
I also find it very frustrating that since day one, our family was lied to. We were pitched a well-executed defense and evacuation, and ultimately spit in our face by referencing the evacuation as an extraordinary success.
The Pentagon says its investigation showed the bombing was not preventable. This weekend marked 2 years since that deadly attack. More teens are depressed compared to 10 years ago. A U.S. Surgeon General's advisory issued back in May points to social media. Tonight, Consumer Reports explains how we can help our teens control their social media consumption with some small steps at home. Public health experts are sounding the alarm over the potential risks of social media usage and teen mental health. Findings from the Pew Research Center show nearly all American teens go online to engage with their peers every day, and half report going online almost constantly. At the same time, nearly 3 in 5 teen girls report feeling so sad or hopeless they can't participate in daily activities. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, it's the highest percentage of teens experiencing these feelings in the past decade.
You're online, you're absorbed into another world. Like, the world is very blurred from reality, and you can be on it for indefinite periods of time. The phone is so addicting that people can't be without it.
Dr. Scott Krakauer, a New York-based psychiatrist, says some teens spend between 6 and 8 hours a day on screens, much of it on social media. The good news is the American Psychological Association reports that teens who cut their social media use by 50% for a few weeks felt better about their weight and overall appearance. Controlling when and for how long apps are used can play a part in creating healthy habits.
Both iOS and Android offer pretty robust parental controls options. So if you don't want your teen using a certain app, you can go into the settings and say, okay, I don't want this app being used after 8 p.m. or 9 p.m.
Here's a general guide. Find your router's IP address and access the admin controls. Look for a time scheduling or parent controls section. There you can set up a Wi-Fi schedule for your devices. Remember, you can set up all devices in your home to follow one schedule or set a different schedule for each device. Dr. Krakauer says the limits to screen time can pay off.
Well, parents can also establish tech-free zones in certain rooms or during specific periods during the day. Tonight, members of the Missouri Task Force 1 are back in the Show Me State. They spent weeks assisting with search and recovery efforts in Maui, which was devastated by wildfires. 4 canine handlers, their dogs, and 2 incident support teams received challenge coins from the Missouri Department of Public Safety. The coins signify bravery, selflessness, and sacrifice demonstrated by first responders. Missouri Task Force 1 is already answering the call again, this time in Florida for Hurricane Idalia. Tonight, members are in Pensacola, Florida. The group's leader has been deployed 22 times, and he calls those missions difficult but rewarding.
This being a part of Missouri Task Force 1 just means everything to me. My family's most important, of course, my wife and my kids, but being able to go down and help and to assist these people in the worst days of their lives means everything to me. People always ask us, what do you remember? You know, what's the worst thing? I try to remember the people, because the people really need help, and they're thankful we're down there.
Missouri Utilities also sent about 40 linemen to help repair downed wires. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now with the Weather First forecast, and you were telling us earlier that the hurricane will not affect us here, but a lot of people are in the danger zone.
Yeah, a lot of people are in the danger zone, and obviously it's going to impact flights in and out of Lambert, St. Louis. Or St. Louis Lambert International Airport here as you go, especially into the southeast. Obviously, Tampa's canceled all the flights. They'll get spun back up again as we go into the next couple of days, but places down towards Savannah, Jacksonville, Orlando could have some delays, and then we're talking about Charleston, South Carolina, the potential of some problems there with this storm system. For us, it's a little cool front sliding into the area from the north. It's just reinforcing the great air that's already in place. That front sliding towards St. Louis right now, and you know what? It's been kicking off a couple of showers here and there, but they've tended to fizzle out. The radar, we have it in that super sensitive mode so you can see something, but there's not really much to see. Those showers have kind of fizzled out on us. There's a couple of little spritzes out towards New Melly and maybe a couple of spritzes over towards Vandalia, and that's about it. Whatever's left's fading as we head through the remainder of the night, and as it pushes south, our temperatures will slip back into the 60s overnight. 77 degrees right now, a north to northwest breeze at 9. 87 was our high, 64 the low. Notice the dew point's up to 67. It'll drop back off in the wake of this front sliding through. Low to mid 60s for lows overnight tonight. Tomorrow, what a gorgeous day. Lots of sunshine. We're pressing temperatures into the 70s tomorrow morning, back to around 80 tomorrow afternoon. Some of us may not quite get there. North to northeast breeze. It's a good one during the day tomorrow at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Next 5 days, look at tomorrow. Around 81 for the high. Thursday around 80. Outlying areas will be down into the 50s. We haven't had temperatures in the 50s in St. Louis since early June. And then you're going back into the mid 90s over the weekend. But that is not with excessive humidity and heat combined like we had last week. This will be a little more typical summertime heat, where the heat index may flirt with 100. That'll seem like nothing compared to what we went through last week. So quiet weather expected here around the St. Louis area. And again, Idalia not expected to impact us at all. But right now, this storm, a well-defined eye, continued strengthening, likely to be Category 3 within the next 2 or 3 hours. It's west of Tampa, and the area that's going to be the greatest impact with this is going to be in that Big Bend area of Florida, where massive, and what the Hurricane Center is calling catastrophic, and it will be 15 to 16 foot storm surge in that area, Horseshoe Beach down towards Cedar Key. That's just that mound of water that comes in, and it is not going to be pretty there tomorrow.
All right, Scott, dangerous times. Thank you. Sports with Frank is next.
Mike, former Cardinal center fielders were put on waivers from coast to coast today. Wilson Contreras had a game to remember tonight, and we're playing hit and run with a star player from City SC.
The Sports Desk is sponsored by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer 10 years running.
The Cardinals did Wilson Contreras wrong. They publicly embarrassed this three-time All-Star and one-time world champion. They benched him and gave the impression he couldn't call the game. Contreras could have pouted. Instead, he decided to hit. And did he hit tonight against the Padres? John Mozeliak says, I am paying him over $80 million. He should hit. 4-2 Padres in the sixth. And Contreras lost this deep to left. It barely gets out. That's number 14. And the Cardinals are down 1 run at this point. Then in the 8th inning, he clobbers this one to dead center with a runner on 427 feet. We are tied at 5. 10th inning, Josh Hader and his .78 earned run average on the mound. Tommy Edman delivers. Mason Wynn will score. And look at this team, 19 games under 500, celebrating. Still good to see. Cardinals win 6-5. The Yankees put Harrison Bader on waivers today. Bader was hitting .242 with 7 homers and a .279 on base percentage. Not a good day for ex-Cardinals center fielders. Randall Grichuk was placed on waivers by the Angels. So one of the biggest sports stories of the fall in our region will be Ryan Wingo's college choice, especially if it's Mizzou. Now, because of the new laws for name, image, and likeness in our state, Ryan could make big money starting next week if he chose Mizzou. The SLU 5-star receiver says he hasn't even thought about the money, and the decision is not imminent. He hasn't even narrowed his list much. However, Mizzou has been relentless in trying to get him to say yes. And how often do you hear from Coach Drink, and what does he say?
I kind of hear from him probably every day, and it's just usually him checking up on me, sending me kind of edits and stuff like that, so pretty cool.
Apparently, the United States is interested in actually winning the Ryder Cup because today the biggest and baddest golfer in the land, Brooks Koepka, was added to the team as a captain's pick. The man has 5 majors and has never lost on a Sunday in the singles matches at the Ryder Cup.
He's built, in my mind, for the biggest of stages, and there's no bigger stage than the Ryder Cup.
It's a fun event. I mean, it's, I think, the fun, most nervous I've ever been in a golf tournament was teeing it up the Ryder Cup. So I've enjoyed it, and every time I've played, I've just tried to go get a point for the team.
City SC will host FC Dallas tomorrow night at 7:30, and leading the way will be number 10, the center back from Germany, Edward Leuven. He's arguably their best player and a really humble and nice man. We thought we would get to know him a little better with our hit and run segment. Favorite restaurant in St. Louis?
Give me a second. Bright's Tavern.
What athlete from another sport in St. Louis do you think is kind of cool?
It's Wainwright, Adam Wainwright, because of his Christian faith, and read some interviews about him.
What do you miss most about Germany?
My family.
Music you listen to before a game?
Mostly Christian worship or Christian hip-hop rap.
Okay. Bad guys are coming to your house. You could get one teammate to protect you.
Then I would probably say Tim Parker.
Soccer is so new in our town. Are you starting to get recognized wherever you go?
Yeah, pretty often.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I do, because as I said, like, people here are so nice. In the end of the day, I have to ask them if they want to take a picture, because people here are so nice, they don't want to rob your time, you know, so I think the fans here are just awesome, you know, I enjoy them.
Mike, he could really own this town. He's 26 years old, he's a superstar, and he's also one of the really sweet guys on the team in terms of he'll come up, hey, how are you today? He says hi to everybody in the building. He has all the characteristics to be a star in our town.
I think a lot of these guys can own the town. Let me get back to baseball for just a second, because we had all these releases today, and the Cardinals, because they're deep down in the basement of baseball, they would get first crack at some of these guys. And I know it's not for this year, but do you go take a flyer on somebody?
Well, maybe not Bader But Lucas Giolito
That's
was
who I thought.
released, and he's certainly better than some of the pitchers you have in your starting staff. At one time, he was an all-star and a really good pitcher, so I think he's a name they're kicking around right now.
All right, Frank, thanks very much. Well, summer is almost over, but hot deals are not. When and where you can get a cool treat for under $1. Apple has sent out invites for a big announcement 2 weeks from today. Tech experts say the company will likely reveal the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro. Among the expected upgrades, a longer-lasting battery, faster charging, and a better camera. It's an end of an era for Netflix. The streaming service, which started as a mail-based video rental service, is ending DVD deliveries next month. Customers can keep those discs. Subscribers can also register for a chance to receive 10 mystery DVDs. And Dairy Queen is celebrating the return of its fall menu with a big discount. For 2 weeks starting on September 11th, you can get a Blizzard for just 85 cents. The bargain price is a nod to 1985, the year the Blizzard was invented. There you have it, 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show is next.